Are you a generator or a manifesting generator? When studying Ra Uruhu's original material, well, those are the same energy types. So it's not two different types in the human design system. These are in the same category. So approximately 70% of the world's population are made of generators and manifesting generators. So this is very interesting. And what connects this is that the sacral center is defined, which means that when you have a defined center, you can more consistently rely on the energy that passes through that center. So the sacral center is also a motor center, which means that this is the engine that runs your life. When we talk about generator category, this is very important to know when enough is enough, because you do have the motor, the sacral center defined to keep pushing. Even when you can't do it anymore, you can actually still go. Even if you're saying, oh, this is just too much, I've had a long week, I am so tired, I'm gonna just lay down and I'm gonna sleep for a week. And then the phone rings, you bounce up and you go again. Even though your body had already said to you, we need rest. When looking into big decisions like your job situation, your life partner, your kids or animals or what you have, big life decisions, is very important that you always, or at least start to try to train your generator sacral motor sound, which is when something is invited to you, extended to you. If I were to ask you, would you love to go to Miami with me for 14 days? And your first response would be, I would want to go. It could also be, no, I'm not a traveler. I don't do adventures. I want to stay in because I can feel that's right for me. When you start to answer any invitations that you get with these sounds, the sounds of a clear yes, I want to go, or a no, I ain't doing that. Thank you for extending this invitation to me. I ain't gonna do it. Try to start training every little invitation doing this. Of course, when it comes to bigger life decisions like life partner, work and stuff like that, you should know that even though that you go into this category, you will not be the same as the 70% of other generators or manifesting generators, because your authority and your strategy will be different, because each chart in human design will be unique, because that is your blueprint. That is something that says something very specific about you. Human design system is a mechanical system, and Ra Uruhu, who channeled this system, was a very practical man. And that means that he was not very spiritual about it, but very mechanical. And that's why words as correct come up. And something that is correct for this generator category is what is important for you if you are in this category is to know that, of course, you are unique, but what is generally your theme is that you are here to respond. To be correct about that is to respond correctly to the invitations that come in. Let me give you an example, and you can let me know in the comments if you think that this example resonated with you. You can say that this category is like worker bees. You guys make the world go around. It's you guys that makes the wheels spin, and you're very good at it when you respond correctly to what lights you up. So if you, for instance, respond to something out of you heard your body say, we shouldn't go, man. Listen, we should not do that. And then your mind takes over and say, well, we should do that. They invited us last time. We should definitely go. Oh, I don't feel like it. It's a long day. We should go anyways. And then you end up going. Can you see every time you do this as a honeybee, a worker bee, you fill up your buckets, your honey buckets, you fill them up with wrong decisions. So you are taking your precious honey buckets and you are going to the cow field and you fill shit in your honey buckets. That is not a correct response. And let me be clear, I'm not saying if you don't want to do the dishes that you shouldn't do it. That's not it. This has got to do with responding correctly to invitations, right? And especially the big invitations, the big life choice decisions that you have to make throughout your life. When you respond correctly to that, your life will be more effortless, it will be easier, and you will feel that you can actually respond and you can work for a long time. Because you responded to this and it felt like, yes, I would want to do that. Even though you are shifting perhaps to a new job and you got more responsibility, perhaps you're the boss and you have to structure everything so the workload is more. But because you responded to it correctly, because you felt a clear, yes, I'm doing this, then it doesn't matter because it will feel good to you. And if you are a manifesting generator, you are a bit faster than everyone combines of the type, because when you respond correctly to something, boom, you go and you go fast. That's something that's very fascinating also for me to watch. It's important that you get into it and you respond correctly. The correctness comes through listening to your sacral center, your body motor saying, or and start practice that. Little things in life, right? Little things, you can test it out and you can start to notice that. Remember that you are not like 70% of other people. You are uniquely you, and human design is your blueprint for sure. If you have a solar plexus wave, which means you have emotional wave, which will be individual, that says something about when you feel the or the you have to sleep on it. And if it's big life decisions, well, sleep a little longer, right? Give yourself a couple of weeks. But if it's like, we have to go to this party right now, it felt like, I ain't doing that. And then your mind got all worked up about it. And remember, your mind is never the decision maker. Ever. Never. Ever. Like ever. Ever, never. Your decision maker. Of course you are bright, yes, but your mind is never the authority, ever. You cannot figure it out with the mind. You have to sit with it, wait it out. If you have this emotional wave, you have to sleep on it, period. Your mind is never the authority. For many women that I work with, has a lot of mental activity, because they have learned through conditioning that it is the mind. Okay, I learned here it is good for me to act and behave in this way, and therefore I will be liked or not judged, or I can be a part of the whatever. But the mind is never the authority, ever. You cannot think it and think that this will be right. You will have to go into the body and feel why or why not this is a thing to do or not to do. And I think, I hope that by listening to this, that you will feel, if you are in this category, you can just let that go. You cannot think your way into a decision making. You can, of course, weigh up the pros and cons and stuff like that. Yes, that is also something very mechanical to do. But you have to go into the body. All types has to go into the body. And all about what authority you have, you can do this in different ways. If you have a splenic authority, well, you can know it in the now. You can know it like right now, just a one-hit wonder, and then it can be gone. So 10 minutes later, you can be, did I really want to do that? Or didn't I want to do that? If you relate to this, probably you have a splenic authority, and that can be a little hard perhaps, because then you knew and now you don't, and on the day you just didn't, and it felt like but then it wasn't Get out of the head and get into the body and start to work that process more. When you know what your process is, it's easier to navigate your life, not everybody else's life, because we are all different. When I started the human design system, I started to look at the different charts. They are so wildly different. And that's also why that even though that you are in a category of perhaps 70% of other generators and manifesting generators, it doesn't mean that the same will go for you. The only thing that is something you share is the response. You have to respond. You are here to respond to the other. So if I extend an invitation to you, you are here to respond to that. And how you're going to respond will be through your sacral, and perhaps in a emotional wave, or perhaps a splenic or ego center. It will be different, and that's why we have to look at your specific chart to do so. If that sounds interesting to you, I'll be happy to help you with that, because this is very important for you to know, how is this print exactly of me, because it does matter. So you cannot look at everybody else and say, okay, so it looks like that person has got it covered, I'm gonna try that strategy. Well, that strategy most likely won't work for you. It's important that you know your own strategy and authority, and when you start to live that, everything flows more easily. Yes.